to get on a movie, to do a movie with somebody, it ain't about how funny you are or cute you are. It's about you and your man's got a movie deal, right? Y'all gonna hire people that y'all don't mind being around for 30 days. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna hire people that's cool enough to hang with you for 15 days straight. You're not gonna hire no talented dummy to be around you. Then you got to check on them all day. You got to do. Mike Epps always had that problem. You always got to check on Mike. Mike on there trying to overdose or doing all the crack, all the cocaine, whatever he's doing in that room. You got to check on him and make sure he can perform. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want that. You want the motherfuckers that came to work, people that you already like. You smile as soon as you look at them because you know y'all got experience with each other. Yeah. That's show business. All that other shit, leave it, forget it.
You know, that's one of the biggest things too, man, that's kind of been going on with the comedians, man.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of tension in the comedic space.
Right.
And it seemed like Cat Williams, when he went on Club Shay Shay, man, that was the beginning of like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Where what people have been feeling for years.
Well, it's been happening for years. He was just the first person to say it. So, but it's been happening for years. Like, if you'd asked me 2 days before that, I had something very similar to what he said. You know what I'm saying? Not taking nothing away from my brother.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I mean, we all trying to go, because listen, let me break this down to you. It's only one. So we all going after the one. And I'm going to break it to you. I said Mike Epps earlier, so I'm going to start with him. Remember when Mike Epps was the man and wasn't nobody else the man but Mike Epps? It might have been Mike Epps and Dave Chappelle, but Dave Chappelle is, and I say this respect, with all due respect, Dave Chappelle came in on the white side. So he don't have the struggles of a nigga comic. He only had the struggles of white boy comics, which all of them eat, all of them work, all of them do, you know what I'm saying? So he got that mentality. So he's the exception, Dave Chappelle. But let's go to Mike Epps. After Mike Epps, it was the first Kevin Hart. Now, what I mean by that, the Kevin Hart, the soul playing Kevin Hart, the Kevin Hart with 18 pilots on NBC and CBS that didn't make it. They couldn't sell them. They took it from him and gave it to Cat. They couldn't control Cat. Cat was getting his kids taken, all kind of shit they was taking Cat through. So they couldn't control Cat, so they took it from Cat and gave it back to Kevin. And if you think about it, that's exactly what happened. So, but again, the Chris Rocks and all of them, they don't count because they didn't come in on the black side. They came in on the white side. Ain't nothing wrong with coming in on the white side, mainstream. The mainstream is what you should be striving to be. But they came in like that. See, like Mike Epps, and people I'm naming, Mike Epps, Kevin Hart kind of came in mainstream, but he had the problems when he tried to be it, if you ask me. So, you know what I'm saying? Cat was always, so that's why he got the worst of it. And then they gave it back to Kevin. When Cat had set the table, they took the table from him and gave it to Kevin. So all Kevin had to do was sit down at the table.
How, on a percentage wise of what Cat Williams said on that interview, I'm gonna just say out of rate from 1 to 5, the validity and truth of what he was saying, how accurate was Cat on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'll say about 4.5. Because I don't know no who read 300 books when he was little. Now, Cat Williams smart as a motherfucker, though. He's smart. Cat Williams is like villain smart. Like, you know how a villain in a movie be like, yeah, we're going to do this to him and da-da-da-da-da. He that kind of smart. So the nigga's smart. So I can't say that, but I don't know. I just ain't never knew that read that many books. So, but other than that, everything he said, golden.
He didn't mention you in that
No,
okay.
That's my brother. That's my real brother. Like, I can call him right now. He's like, what are you calling me for, Sinatra? Yeah, that's my real brother.
Cause you was actually on tour with Cat. That was also like one of those big moments for you.
Yeah.
When Cat was at the height of heights.
Woo.
It was you, Lionel, is that the sister name?
Lunel.
Lunel.
Yeah, Lunel. Auntie Lunel. What up, Lunel? It was Lunel. It was me. It was Red Grant. It was Zoo Man. I'm missing somebody. But it would be people from like wherever state. If we in Chicago, he picking somebody from Chicago.
Yeah.
If we in St. Louis, he
Yeah.
gonna pick somebody from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So he kept it going like that, man. Cat kept paper. Cat Williamson gave me more money than Nick Cannon has.
Damn.
So that's some real shit.
And that's heavy too, because even with speaking of that, with the Corey situation, that
Corey.
was
Talking about Corey Holcomb?
yeah.
Him. He pregnant right now by Tyler Perry. That's why you don't see him too much. He pregnant. He about 6 months now.
How did that whole thing even come about, bro? Like, what was the reasoning for that?
Because Corey Holcomb is a bitch ass. He a bitch ass nigga that don't look like a star. He's never been a star. He's never been really celebrated. So he got his podcast to attack the nigga that he thought should be celebrating him.
Yeah.
So he's like a shock jock. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But certain names, you can't say them. They off limits to everybody, anybody. If you ask, what's the nigga, the Jewish nigga name who been doing podcasts forever with the big ass nose? Got the radio show with the little Beetlejuice. The Jewish guy. I can't think of his name right now. But the guy, the nigga who's been doing podcasts and radio shows forever. The big Jewish guy with the big nose and curly hair. And he got the girl, the black lady with him. And he got the little Beetlejuice with him. Howard Stern. Even Howard Stern know not to say certain names. So to me, it's like, you gotta be careful with shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like giving a nigga a rope and he want to be a cowboy after that. And the Cowboys too. But that's my point. It's like, and I mean Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. So, he just a that's been around who ain't never had a whole pie to himself. He always had to get pieces of pies from other. You know what I'm saying? And but that you can make a living off that. Yeah. So I'm not down in that, but I'm just telling you about whole ass Corey Holcomb. He's never really been respected in Chicago, where he's from. He never was really respected in LA. You know what I'm saying? He puts dye all in his hair and his beard and all that. Come on, man, you a punk ass nigga, dog. Like, get out of here. You're a foul.
In terms of, because of course he made a comment, if I'm not mistaken, about wilding out, right?
Right.
And he was talking about the payment. Now you just said that Nick Cannon, you said Cat Williams paid you more than Nick Cannon did
over the years. Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Was, even in looking at that, was that situation a fair situation with the wilding out?
Never. Well, it was never fair for me because, so let me break this down. It was 4 comedians, Howie Bell, Joe Blunt, Thomas Ward, myself, 5, Tony Roberts. And we all had a group called The Other Level. Now, it's a lot of people in Detroit that felt like they were in The Other Level because we would just use, it was the Detroit thing. So we would all do skits and do songs and rap and all kind of shit. So 4 of us moved to LA and we became The Other Level. When Nick Cannon was, 14, his first manager was an Arab guy named Sam who lived in San Diego. And he hooked us up together. So whenever Nick would go to, what's that, Soul Train? He would go to Soul Train, and if you know about Soul Train, they pick you to be on there. Like everybody's standing in line, and the producers would come outside and say, okay, her, all right, her,
right,
all right, her, him, okay, him, okay, him. And so when he didn't get picked, he would come to my house in the jungles. And we would like do comedy shit, and I would teach him how to do. I taught Nick Cannon how to tell jokes, how to do skits, how to dress, how to everything. That was my little brother's son.
Like protege.
Yeah. So he got the deal first. When he was doing Roll Bounce in Chicago, I just happened to be in Chicago. I went to the set and went to see him. He slammed Bow Wow. That's when I knew Nick was like, I was like, all right, Nick, you growing up. You know what I'm saying?
On a serious tip on
yeah, he slammed him like, bitch, shut up. So, because Bow Wow had just sold out in Chicago, he went on a radio interview, and like an hour later, his concert was sold out. So he was walking around saying, "Yo, can't sell out concerts." Da, 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 da. So Nick Cannon got mad about that and slammed him. Bro.
This. You good.
All right. But so that's kind of what happened. And Nick Cannon came up to me and said, "I got a deal with MTV." And I was like, "Damn, that's dope." And he was like, "Yeah, man." He gave me a check. I think he gave me that was probably like $30,000 or something like that, 20,000. It was something. It was big at the time, but now I'm grown. It was just play money. But he gave me a check and said, "You the first person I'm hiring." And I'm like, "Dude, hell yeah!"
That's
so I'm like, "So what's the show about?" And he said, "Well, it's kind of like the show y'all do." And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "It's like we gonna do what y'all do, except." I was like, "But they ain't gonna be in it. Only me, I'm gonna be in it." He said, "Yeah, we're gonna get other people to be in it, but you gonna be the anchor because you got the recipe to it, basically." So he gave me a check. I said, "Hell, that's work." And then about a year later, I want to say that was the same year that the Pistons beat the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq and Karl Malone and Gary Payton and all them. We was either rehearsing it then or we actually shot one or two then, and then it came out the next year. So yeah, so he like paid me to leave my crew to be in his crew.
And then after that, because how long were you on there, and at some point did you get another check, or
I was getting
You just saying
paid.
in general, it just overall.
He gave me that check before we even started,
right,
to get me motivated. So I remember that's when the chirp phone. Remember using chirp? That's when that shit was out. He was like, "Get a real phone and go get this and go get a crib and go, because I'm couch surfing. I'm in LA, you know what I'm saying? I'm couch surfing and shit. He like, get your own place, get a real phone and go get this and go get a car you can drive to Hollywood. You got a bucket." So he upgraded me, man. I know that's some Beyonce shit. No Diddy, but he definitely upgraded. So I was all the way with it because at that time in my whole life, nobody ever did that for me.